Okay, question 1D is actually quite fun. So, how many solutions does cosine to the n of x plus cosine to the 2n of x equal to 0 have in the range from 0 to 2 pi for an integer n greater or equal to 1? Okay, so, the trig equation, right? And it's a sort of a quadratic equation in some sense because, there's a 2. Well, what's the intuition when we have trigonometric equations? Well, we factorize, right? Okay, we never cancel anything, okay? Please. So, we could factorize cosine to the nx, and then you get 1 plus cosine to the nx equals to 0. Okay, so now you have two branches, right? Now you have two branches. It's sort of similar to how you solve like quadratic equations, really. So, cosine to the n of x equals to 0, or you can have cosine of n to the x equals to minus 1. Okay, so let's have a think. Well, cosine of n to the x equals to 0, well, that implies cosine of x equals to 0, right? Has to be. Okay, so cosine of x equals 0, what are the solutions? Well, x equals to pi on 2, or 3 pi on 2, right? So these are definitely two solutions. Okay, so A is complete joke. All right, let's have a look at the other one though. So now cosine to the n equals to minus 1. So the question has a distinction between even and odd n. And this is actually the reason, right? Because, if n is even, then hey, how are you going to get a negative number, right? Unless you're, extending the definition of cosine or whatever and, getting complex solutions. But obviously that's out of the range of a year 13 student. So perhaps we should deal with the real number. So n is odd. If n is odd, then cosine x has to be minus 1, right? That, it's implying that. Has to be, right? So cosine x equals to minus 1, x is equal to pi. That's the only solution, right? X equals to pi. So in that case, when n is even, this thing does not have any solutions. Okay, so when it's even, I have two solutions, and when it's odd, I have three solutions because pi is also a solution here. All right, so the answer is D.